Welcome, everybody. The halfway point has passed. It's time to see who wins in the Buckeye State. I'm Carmen. Thank you all for spending your Friday evening with us here on ABN. It's some good old-fashioned road course racing here tonight. It's been a wild month. Merrick Watchorn has been dominant through the month. He's won at Motegi, won at Texas, won at Kentucky. He's trying to go 4 in a row to end out the month of June. Race 19 at 36s tonight. The second half of the season begins in earnest here at Mid-Ohio. The 2.24 mile road course located just north of Columbus in a small village called Lexington. It's about 10 minutes away from the Honda production facility that produced cars such as the Honda Integra and the Acura NSX. Tonight, we'll see a bunch of cars run their way through tonight's field. Qualifying has begun here in qualifying. Jacob Elkins, the first one to set a lap time, as lap times have begun here in Mid-Ohio. We'll look at Eli Sasek here. The Ascent Racing driver. Putting his first lap down on the board, third fastest. Merrick Watchorn, the championship leader, also setting a lap time here. Where's he going to put the 91? Watchorn provisional pole for the championship leader. Watchorn, Elkins, Gamillion, Sasek, Craig, Roberg, and Wright top 7. Ellis, Pillar, Hernandez, and Blowers all on track, as is now Alec Daffin. Eli Sasek on his second lap, trying to improve, trying to get into provisional pole range. He's within half a second of Watchorn, with Elkins sitting second place. Teammates for Watchorn Motorsports sitting 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Eyes are going to be obviously on Alec Daffin. They're going to be obviously on Eli Sasek. Sasek, the first ever winner of the ABN Hyper Formula Series, using the European Grand Prix equipment. Sasek pushing through the final couple corners here. What does Sasek do? Very loose and tiptoey. Not enough for the front row, but it will be enough for third place. He gained 2 spots there. We'll look at Alec Daffin, who is tiptoeing, taking his time, trying to make these tires last, trying to make them count. 5 career wins for the Summit Esports driver.
You guys are done, please.
Daffin across the line to start his lap. 4 minutes 20 on the clock. 10 drivers set lap time so far. Daffin will be number 11, Zier number 12. 1 minute 30 a lap time around Mid-Ohio. Daffin trying to deny Watchorn 4 in a row. He trying to really bookend the month of June. Won at Bristol on June 2nd. Took a vacation, came back. Obviously, Watchorn won the last 3 races at Texas and Kentucky and Twin Ring Motegi. Daffin's been especially strong on the road courses, and with Rudy Valentine not present tonight, who, if anybody, has a chance to really defy Daffin at the front of the field, except for Watchorn, who's obviously put in a lot more time this week trying to hone in on that road course racing craft. Zier is about to start her lap. She'll only get 1 with how things currently look at the moment. Daffin will get both laps, trying to make a count here. Alec Daffin rolling through the end of the lap. This is going to be a very timid lap, it looks like, except for that exit. But it's enough to get to the front of the field. 2/10 clear of Watchorn goes Daffin. Daffin goes to the front. And he will not take that second lap time. Leaves it down to Lilac Zier, Ellis, Stanley, and Buchanan. Will not set a lap time in this session. 15 cars for a road course race. It should be a quick one tonight. Zier trying to figure out where she's going to start. To the keyhole. Now down the long straight with the kink in the middle. We're entering turn 4. Not looking like a pole lap at the moment for Zier, but it looks solid at the moment. As solid as it can be. This track is very challenging, very difficult. Even in the most high-tuned, high downforce machines. Take away all the downforce and double the weight, and you've got yourself something wild as Zier drifted through that corner. Coming with 2 corners left in the lap. Out of the final corner. Zier pulls through. It was a clean lap, enough for a top 10 starting position. And Zier's going to kind of throw it away here, knowing that she can't complete this lap time. Again, for everyone tuning in, this is race 19 of 36 in the TWIGI iRacing Series season. I'm Carmen, and thank you all for tuning in and spending your evening with us here. As qualifying gets ready to conclude. Going to be a very interesting event for sure. And Zier's going to pull it to a stop here with 20 seconds left in the qualifying session. That'll be her time done. So we now get ready to wait. It's qualifying over here at Mid-Ohio. 47 laps on the board as we get ready to go in the Midwest. Again, here's what it looks like. A lap around Mid-Ohio. It's a very undulating track in the hills in northern Ohio, near a village called Lexington, about an hour north of Columbus. Track temp, it is a scorcher, 118 degrees on track. Air temp, 78 degrees, but in the middle of summer, air temp almost doesn't matter for these cars. Next to no wind, a rare occasion here in Ohio, but very pleasant for the drivers. They're not going to be having to saw at the wheel, especially going up the hill or down the hill into turn 4. Makes it very easy. Looking at the starting grid for this race, Alec Daffin on pole position alongside Merrick Watchorn on the front row. Jacob Elkins and Eli Sasek sit in row number 2, followed by Maurice Gamillion and Brennan Gregg. Martin Roberg and Patrick Hernandez sit in row 4, ahead of Bobby Blowers and Lilac Zier, 2 of the Formula Atlantic adversaries from this season in ABN. David Wright and Greg Pillar in row number 6, and as we move our way down a little bit further, Jack Stanley and Casey Ellis in row 7, and row 8 by himself, RJ Buchanan, the lone Canadian in the field. So get ready to go here. Place your bets. Who do you think is going to walk away with a win here to end the month of June? Pace lap begins. As we get closer to going green. Pace car comes in. It's Daffin, Watchorn, Elkins, Sasek at the front of the field. The Buckeye 105 is underway in Middle Ohio. Everyone keeping it nice and tidy. Through turn one. Side by side, the further back you go. Car drifting off a little bit. That's Hernandez. Car spinning. That's Jack Stanley. But we stay green. Unless something dramatic happens, there will not be any cautions in this race tonight. Daffin trying to waltz away from Watchorn early. A little bit further back. There's actually a little bit of a battle here between Greg, Hernandez, and Zier. Brent and Greg looking at a chance. These two had an amazing battle last week in Kentucky. Seeing if they have another clinic tonight. As they both try to get into the top 5. Gamillion in that 5th position. A new paint scheme for the 44 tonight. Eli Sasek sitting in the 4th position ahead of behind Jacob Elkins, who sits in 3rd. Watchorn trying to hustle to the back of Alec Daffin. Definitely showing some pace on the road course tonight. Doing a phenomenal job so far early on, showing a lot more fight than what we've seen from him recently. Lap 1 in the books. It's Daffin leading ahead of the 2 Supras. Really, it's a line of 5 Supras from Watchorn to Brent and Greg. But the top 3 still very much under a blanket. Sasek not far behind either. The biggest gap you'll see is between Sasek and Gamillion at the moment, 4th and 5th. Watchorn obviously not having the strength of the first sector as Daffin did, but still safe compared to that of Elkins and Sasek at the moment. Watchorn trying his best. Looks like he does really good here in Sector 2. Going through the hill. Doing a fantastic job. We'll see if you're right on board them. So you get an understanding of what these drivers are fighting through. This is not an easy track in Champ Car machinery, let alone in 3,400-pound stock cars. But that's what these drivers are dealing with right now. Riding aboard with Watchorn. He's in the middle of the action. Daffin drifts a little bit wide there. This is coming to the end of the lap. We'll ride on board for a full lap here. Daffin really pushing it. Stepping that car out as wide as possible, abusing those Goodyear Eagles. Crossed our finish line here, going into turn 1. Under the bridge. There's a curb here. You don't want to get too far to the inside because you will hop over that and it will send you out into the grass. This is the keyhole, turn 2. One of the slowest points on the track in just about any car. Watchorn put it in a little bit deep, but diamonded it. Got a wide entry. Cut it tight on the exit. Entering turn 4. Through the hill is where we end up going now. Daffin missed the apex. Little bit of contact there between Watchorn and Daffin. Daffin knowing now fully that Watchorn's here to fight. Through the hill, out of turn 6. Through 7. Into 8 and into 9. This double right-hander. 12 corners on this lap. Here's turn 10 coming up here, and it's immediate switch back to the left-hander, turn 11. And then it's a sweeper that never ends for turn 12. One more lap, one more corner here, turn 13. That's a lap around Mid-Ohio, but you see how much elevation there is in this lap. As Watchorn tries to hustle Daffin, doing what he can. The top four still nose to tail from Daffin all the way to Eli Sasek in the 71. Sasek did not have a good night last night in Belle Isle for the ABN Champ Car World Series. Trying to turn around and have some good fortune tonight here in Mid-Ohio. Slow little breakaway between the top 2 and 3 and 4. Top 6 showing that they've got the pace here on the road courses to stick together. Again, 47 lap race, and it's going to click by quickly. 90-second lap times. This by no means is going to be a measure of endurance. It is an all-out sprint. And it's so cool seeing these cars, the way they roll through, because they have a lot of body roll. And you're seeing that, and you're seeing the drivers fight that going through the laps. Watchorn staying right there, right on the bumper of Daffin. Zoomed out a little bit as we look at the end of the lap here for the top 5. So far been clinical, with Daffin leading the way still. He's led every lap so far from pole. That lap, however, belongs to Brennan Gregg. Watchorn overdrove the keyhole, now under threat from his teammate, and that's what Alec Daffin likes to see. But Watchorn, good exit there out of turn 2. Through 3 and going into the sharp braking zone of 4. Fastest braking zone on the track. Sasek looked to the inside of Elkins. Didn't go for it, but almost sent it. Try to get that load up. And successfully did so. But you see how competitive the top 6 is right now. It's been a bit sloppy the further back you go, with Roberg now in 7th, Sears down a spot in 8th now, Blowers in 9th, Wright in 10th, Buchanan up 4 spots in 11th right now, thanks to the loss of Hernandez. Stanley is not out of this race, however, he is significantly off the lap here, almost a lap down already. Greg Pillar is the last one, somewhat in range, but Ellis and Pillar both 58 seconds off the race lead, as actually Casey Ellis just wrecked out of the race. So Ellis will join Hernandez on the sidelines after only 5 laps of action. It is not for the faint of heart, racing in Mid-Ohio. Been an impeccable Midwest swing so far. Daffin holds on to the race lead by 7/10. You see the cars all serpentining as they go through the hill. It's a wild time. Daffin's still fighting that car a little bit, and he's going to end up fighting those tires more and more and more as we get through this. He's allowed Watchorn to really stay close, and it's really allowing everyone in that top 6 to have a chance, as Jack Stanley is set to become the first car off the lead lap. Stanley just trying to picking up positions as drivers fall out of the race. Hernandez dropped out from 8th place on the grid. Stanley trying to stay out of the way. Everyone in the top 6 will get by him here going into the keyhole. He's staying out of the way, being very gracious in understanding where his pace lies here on the road course. Daffin drives out wide. Watchorn, this is the closest he's been since the start of the race. As they go down the straightaway and the run to turn 4 begins. Watchorn had a really good run through the keyhole that time. It won't be enough to make a send into turn 4, but a really good margin for that 91, who's keeping his lines tidy. That has been so important for Watchorn. That's been so critical in Watchorn's race so far, is just keeping his lines tidier than that of the race leader. Daffin has the pace, but Watchorn has that clinical ability. And it's kind of rubbed off on Elkins here. Elkins is right there with him. Elkins, we know, pretty refined as a road course racer himself. We typically see him shine at these road courses like Sonoma, like Watkins Glen. Obviously, Mid-Ohio, no different. But he's showing a little bit of clinicality as well. Not nearly to the extent of Watchorn, because Elkins does have to deal with Eli Sasek right behind him. But he's not being a pushover. That's so important right now. Next car up to go a lap down is Greg Pillar, the 09 machine. Daffin, Watchorn lead the way through the keyhole on lap 8. And this is a side-by-side battle out of the keyhole. Daffin's going to have the advantage with that run out of the corner. But Watchorn pressuring big time. Still going to be pressuring here as he goes through the kink of turn 3. Braking stuff for turn 4. Does Watchorn go for it? He does not. Very much more timid on the brakes in turn 4. And he's going to need to find a way to muster up the courage to make a move in turn 4. A little sideways there for Watchorn. First time we've seen him get sideways. There's a car sitting off the track. That's Pillar. And it threw everyone off. All 6, nose to tail. The Chevrolet caboose leading a Toyota train. Everyone navigated Pillar. If everyone was unsighted, that was a horrible place to encounter lap traffic because it is so blind through that sector. But Daffin holds on to it. Leads another lap. That's 8 laps in the book for Daffin out of 47 scheduled laps. Daffin working on it. Elkins gets a little loose. Under threat now, more from Eli Sasek. Daffin trying to be a bit more timid here in his approach to the keyhole. He's given up a lot of time over the last 3 laps in that corner alone. Was a lot more shy and reserved that time around. And it's worked out for him so far. 8 tenths. The largest gap we've seen so far between the top 2 in this race. It's on Watchorn to close that gap now. David Wright in trouble. As is Jack Stanley, who's gone off track. Eli Sasek getting around Elkins for 3rd. The pass has finally been made. Putting Sasek into the top 3. He's going to try to challenge Watchorn and Daffin now. Phenomenal battle here at the top 3. Daffin has watched his gap to Watchorn completely shrink by half in 1 lap. Daffin, Watchorn, Sasek, Elkins, Gamillion, Gregg, Roberg, Zier, Blowers, and Wright. So here we go. Watchorn, you just saw there, battling for the race lead, side by side. Daffin on the inside lane. But Watchorn's got to mind his P's and Q's because Sassek's right there. Daffin's going to defend the position well. But Daffin's reign at the front of the field is in danger. Sassek on the attack on Watchorn. Doing a phenomenal job. Soaring into second place. The 71 for Ascent Racing. Doing a phenomenal job, and now Sassek's going to be attacking Daffin. And Daffin struggling on tire wear. Trying to put the power down, and you can see the fight that he had earlier. Trying to find pace. Has begun its descent to backfire. Sassek. Now in the catbird seat. And a track that's notoriously been processional for some of its events, it has been anything but tonight. Sassek right on the heels of Daffin. Daffin holds on to the race lead, going through the keyhole here on lap 12. The laps are counting by, but not fast enough for Daffin. Sassek trying to make his way forward. Watchorn down to third at the moment. Still a phenomenal performance. His best road course performance so far this season. Sassek trying to fight forward. Drifting out sideways a little bit. And Sassek's got a little bit more knowledge of this track. He knows where some of these passing zones may be that drivers just typically wouldn't take. He's not afraid to put it too wide through a section like turn 12 or 13. And he is right there. He's got so much pace in the last two sectors. Sassek's going to be all over Daffin this lap once more, trying to find a way around and trying to set sail. Heavy on the braking there for Sassek. Daffin drifts wide. Sassek and Daffin both on the power at almost the same time, but Daffin's got the run of momentum. Keep an eye on that 91 of Watchorn, who is not far away. All of these top five are in play. Jacob Elkins has dropped down to the 6th position, but still fairly clear from that of Lilac Sear. There goes Elkins side by side through turn 7. Couldn't make it happen, but he's not afraid to try it. Into turn 9. Elkins showing so much pace in the later stages where it is a little bit slower, where you need to have that grip. And because Watchorn, really because Sassek and Daffin are slowing each other down, Watchorn has stayed very much in this fight. Championship leader just wanted a decent result. He's trying to close out the month of June right now with 4 wins in a row. Daffin leads this lap, but it feels like the crushing blow is impending. Daffin leads while now the battle turns to Sassek and Watchorn. Sassek on the inside lane, Watchorn outside lane. Daffin stays clear as Sassek slots in between them. Sasek under threat from Watchorn as Watchorn's kind of reined the tires in a little bit more. Watchorn peeks to the inside going into turn 4, does not make a move happen. One of the most competitive road course races we've seen so far, and it's Mid-Ohio of all places, not Watkins Glen, one of the most famous road courses in the United States. But Mid-Ohio, this 2.24 mile track, in what many would call scenic nowhere in Ohio. Daffin, you see the sliding going on with Daffin still. He's still not happy as he plants the power down. He's gotten a slight reprieve from Sasek, but Sasek's back on the charge and seems a lot happier with where his car is at balance-wise right now. As he finished lap 14 and move on to lap 15. 4/10 is the gap. Everyone going through turn 1 and approaching the keyhole, turn 2. Daffin runs wide again. This gives Sasek another opportunity. He's not going to obviously draw alongside or really make much happen in that keyhole, but he closes the gap from 5/10 to 2. Shut that gap down by half. As they approach turn 4, it's about the latest of late breakers, and this will be a place where I think positions will be determined on the final lap. Sasek feels a lot more comfortable coming in through the hill, which to me is crazy. To Sasek, it has to be calculated. Top 3 still nose to tail. Gamillion is just outside of range of being in trouble if something happens. Same with Brennan Gray. But if anything happens to these top 3, they are right there to pounce. Zier's gotten ahead of Elkins, who's had trouble. He's dropped down to 9th place. Zier now 6th, Roberg 7th, Blowers in 8th. And these top 5 are going at it, still duking it off. 15 laps through. And Watchorn's looking at a move in turn 1. Trying to strong-arm his way to 2nd place once more. He's got the position, he's done it. Watchorn to 2nd place. A bold move in turn 1, a position you don't pass in these cars very often. Watchorn said, watch this, and made it look easy. Watchorn now back on the attack, trying to get to the race lead. All 5 cars have a really good chance to win this race if anything happens to the others. The big question mark right now is pit stops. We've seen pit stops determine the race winner more often than not here. That is Pillar on the outside here. The 09 has checked up all the leaders here. Watchorn thought about threading the needle 3 wide. Won't do it. Will, however, stick his nose in through turn 6. Oh, Watchorn nearly messed up big time there. Nearly went off track. And the top 3 still going at it. Watchorn cuts it tight in turn 9. A little too overzealous there on the throttle. Sasek's gonna try to make him pay. As Greg and Gamillion battle for 4th. Daffin struggling here in the last sector still. Had the ability to really kind of break away, but hasn't. 8/10 now, again, matches the gap that he had a few laps ago, but it's not extended much further beyond that point. Until now, 9/10, almost a second. That was the breakthrough that Daffin needed. It has been a slugfest among heavyweights in road course racing in the series. Watchorn having to tiptoe, having to cool those rear tires down just a smidge, trying to make something happen. And it checked Daffin up now, back to where he has to worry about that of Gamillion. And Daffin likewise can use the time that he has earned to try to soothe those screaming tires. It has been frantic at the start of this race. It's been absolutely exceptional racing tonight. And we have not even gotten to the halfway point yet. Oh, Daffin spun! Daffin has spun in the 12th corner. From the lead to 5th he goes. Merrick Watchorn inherits the race lead. An unforced error by the 48 has handed the lead to Watchorn, who now has an even larger target on his back. And that could be a death blow straight to the jaw of one of the strongest contenders to Watchorn's championship lead. Watchorn to the race lead. Sasek second. Gamillion now fighting with Greg for a podium spot at the moment. Daffin 6.6 seconds off the race lead now from the race lead. A 7-second loss in time with that simple mistake. And now if you're Sasek, you know you've gotten around Watchorn before. How much pressure do you put on yourself now? We know pit stops are coming at some point in the next 10 laps. How much do you fight going into that pit stop? Because right now, Watchorn is sitting pretty. 9/10 the gap. Sasek's been stronger in this sector, though, all race long, and Watchorn almost did the exact same thing. Went a little too wide there, entering turn 12. He'll clean it up and tidy it up, and keep the margin at just exactly a second. What a fight so far it's been. Jack Stanley about to go a second lap down here. Actually, excuse me, he's going to go more than just... He's going to be a second lap on track if he's going to go down, but it'll be a 6th lap down here. And Sasek has closed the window significantly, as has Gamillion and Greg, who have stayed right there in the tail. Sasek not so happy there with the keyhole that time around. Gamillion trying to fight. And it's giving Watchorn a very safe gap to play with here as they approach turn 4. Sasek unable to take the line that he wanted to take. Gamillion and Greg. Gamillion's been turned! And that's going to take Gamillion and Greg out of the lead conversation, and it's going to put them back behind Alec Daffin, who's going to get his way through. Unforced error after unforced error, and that gives Sasek the breathing room that he needs, because he was going to try to make a charge when Gamillion began applying pressure. Gamillion is now out of the picture in 5th place. Sasek has all the room to breathe. That is being put on the ropes and landing a left hook right in the temple, if you're like Sasek. But you see the gap between Sasek and Daffin alone. The gap has only grown larger and larger as this race has gone on. Greg recovered decently. He's battling with Daffin now. Teammates for Summit Esports. You see them just out of turn 1 in the background over there. But front and center is this battle for the race lead that is heating up once more. Gamillion in pit lane. I would assume that was kind of a forced call there, not one that he wanted to make this early. The halfway point in this race is lap 24. So that's the window that everyone wants to make it on one stop. You get to lap 24, and it's pretty well straight to the finish. But we're seeing that's a lot easier said than done. This has been a fun race so far, but now it's from 5 to 2, battling at the front of the field. Watchorn drifts it out wide there through turn 9. but he's got that time. Sasek is tiptoeing a little bit more than Watchorn is. Watchorn throwing it around a little bit more. I would not be surprised if Watchorn pits earlier than Sasek here in this endeavor. They both stay out here, going into lap 21. What a race this has turned into. Sasek slowly closing the gap in a little bit. Oh no, he's gone off! He's gone off in 4. Drove it in too deep. Unforced error for Sasek now. And that takes a lot of pressure off of Merrick Watchorn. Wow. Unforced error by Sasek. And that gives Watchorn a 5-second gap to play with. Absolutely insanity. To kind of put things in a little bit of perspective here for Merrick Watchorn, he's got 25 race wins in this series, but he's never won on a road course, ever. And he is looking set to change that tonight. You want to talk about clinical? Look no further than Merrick Watchorn right now. Toyota's 1-2, Daffin in 3rd, but it's a very distant 3rd. Watchorn has preserved his tires phenomenally to try to get to that halfway point. Merrick Watchorn, for Twiggy, is the measuring stick. In an AVN Champ Car, we have Bruno Miranda. In AVN Cup Series, we have Emily Howe. Merrick Watchorn is this series' #1 driver. Why is that the case? Because he puts in the time and effort. He puts in the practice hours. And it is a bunch of hours. And that allows him to be clinical and very precise. If you look at the mistakes that he's made in this race, his mistake is simply going wide in the corner. He's not gone off once in this race. He has been as perfect as you can be at a track this difficult. We're on lap 23 of 47. Watchorn needs to go at least one more lap before he can come down pit lane. Elkins came down on lap 14. He's got another stop ahead of him. Same with Maurice Gamillion, who came in on lap 19. Moving further back as you look at this battle for 3rd place between Daffin and Brennan Gregg, who could have trouble. Slows it down, but gives up that time he was gaining on Daffin for 3rd place. Just as we looked at it, it went away. Martin Roberg has gone off. That is turn 9 for Roberg. Sears come down pit lane. One of the first in the top 5 to do so. Watchorn has a 5-second gap over Eli Sasek. Roberg is in pit lane as well. Watchorn's got to go. He could come in this lap and be fine, because his pit box is beyond the start-finish line. This is the halfway lap, though. So he can come in this lap or next lap, and he'd be fine. Really, he can stand as long as he wants to right now, because he's got that advantage. He's got that 5.4-second gap. And he's got 13 seconds to Daffin. Brennan Gregg's made his way back forward. Brennan Gregg has been charging forward, trying to make something happen there. And Watchorn saves out an extra lap. So Watchorn will not come in this time. He will stay out. What does Eli Sasek do? Eli Sasek also stays out. Blowers and Wright came down pit lane. Does Daffin come in? He does, as does Brennan Gregg. So they do take the early stop. They will try to undercut here, because they've got to make up as much time as they can in this run. Buchanan coming out of pit lane, a lap down. Buchanan, the 99, the Canadian driver, sitting in 9th place at the moment, doing a good job just keeping the car clean. But for Watchorn, it has been efficiency personified. We know that Elkins and Gamillion, who are now 3rd and 4th, have another pit stop to make. They cannot make it to the end from their pit stops. Elkins went on lap 14, Gamillion on 19. They needed to make it at least 23, 24 laps. Obviously, when they came in, they did not make it to halfway. They will not make it to the finish. They'll have to pit by about lap 40, if not sooner. Watchorn, I believe, will be coming in this time by in the number 91 machine. Question right now is if Elkins actually might take the race lead here when Watchorn comes down pit lane, and Watchorn will bow in here this lap. As does Sasek. Buchanan coming in. Don't know if he's serving a penalty or not. All eyes now shift to that of Jacob Elkins, who we believe is going to inherit the race lead here, and it looks pretty set to do so. I would not be surprised. No, Elkins comes in this lap. He will not take the race lead away from his teammate. What about Gamillion? Does Gamillion come in from here? He stays out. But Watchorn already out of pit lane. Elkins would have been the only one to take that position from him. And that's not the case now. Brennan Gregg in 4th place. Alec Daffin in 5th. So Brennan Gregg had a way better lap, or way better pit stop than Alec Daffin did, because Daffin has lost time to the person he was battling going into that pit stop. He's lost 4 seconds. That is wild. Elkins battling with Gamillion. Not Elkins, that is Brennan Gregg battling with Gamillion. Gamillion on older tires. Brennan Gregg should try to make quick work of the 44 here, because Brennan Gregg's sights right now are on Eli Sasek in 2nd place. Gamillion being a bit of a roadblock here in this tightest section of the track. Gregg's got a couple opportunities to try to make it happen this lap still, though, out of 9, going up the hill towards turn 10. Will be the next opportunity to do so. Gamillion keeps him shut off there. But Gregg's going to be a little bit more bold. outside through 11 and 12. Still nothing. Brennan Gregg holds on to 4th place behind Gomillion. But right now, pressure is not really on Brennan Gregg. He knows he's got the pace right now to really try to get to Sasek and Watchorn. Sasek trying to close the gap as well. Kasasek has dropped to 8 seconds behind Merrick Watchorn. So it has been a reasonable concern for Sasek and really for Brennan Gregg, who's going to try to make it happen here and will make it happen. Brennan Gregg up to P3. Brennan Gregg's position now is trying to cut the gap on Sasek. Whether or not he can do that is a completely different question, but that is the current objective. And you see the gap that Gregg has put on Gomillion at this point in time. Watchorn just at the fastest lap of the race, a 128.56 here at Mid-Ohio. Again, clinical personified for the championship leader, who was looking to extend that championship advantage. Coming to the last 19 laps in this race. Merrick Watchorn in the final couple corners. We're going to ride on board with the driver for a couple laps. We're going to ride on board with one of ABN's own. We're going to ride on board with Eli Sasek, second place, as he tries to manage being in second place between a rock and a hard spot. I'm going to step aside for a drink break. Don't go anywhere. Here at Mid-Ohio, race 19 of the TWIGI iRacing series. We are back. 15 laps to go. You're watching this battle for fourth place between Alec Daffin, Maurice Gamillion, and Lilac Zero, the closest battle on track at the moment by and far. It's been a wild fight in the Buckeye State, but it's calmed down at the front of the field. Merrick Watchorn leads by 9.8 seconds over Eli Sasek. Top 5, top of your screen. Brennan Gregg in third, Daffin fourth, Gamillion in fifth. Brennan Gregg a little further away here, 4 seconds away from Alec Daffin. Daffin not really able to get away from Maurice Gamillion here. Fourteen laps to go. Watchorn, Sasek, Gregg, Daffin, Gamillion, Zier, Elkins, Roberg, and Blowers top 10. And David Wright sitting in the top 10. Again, watching this battle for the top 6. Fourth and fifth, Daffin Gamillion, 0 and 6th. Trying to pressure the 44 of Gamillion into a mistake. Gamillion has a pit stop to make, though. Cannot make it to the end from where he pit stopped on lap 19. Daffin beginning to waltz away here as Gamillion experiences that cliff. Coming to about 5 laps to go. 10 laps to go, excuse me, in the battle for top 5. Not close to 5 laps to go yet. So Watchorn, Sasek, Gregg, Daffin, Gamillion in the top 10, in the top 5. Sears 6, Elkins 7th. Martin Roberg again 8th. Bobby Blowers the last car on the lead lap at the moment, to my understanding. No, he has gone a lap down, because he is behind Merrick Watchorn. There he is, between Watchorn and Sasek. Trying to keep himself clean and tidy here. Watchorn at the front of the field. He's got a 10-second gap over Sasek. Watchorn stepping a little bit sideways with 11 to go. Almost made a pretty big slip up there out of the last corner. Eli Sasek sitting in second place here at the moment, a very distant second, but still safely and ahead of Burning Greg, who has opened up a 6.3 second gap over Alec Daffin. So he's still looking strong. As Elkins comes down pit lane, this was a scheduled stop. He could not make it on just that one stop he made on lap 14. Which means that a million stop is right around the corner. Chameleon, I would say, probably going to pit within the next 5 laps. It's about the expected pit window for him. Elkins in pit lane. Roberg on the lead lap. However, he is about to go a lap down, I would like to believe. He is within 20 seconds of going a lap down, so he may stay on the lead lap here, as it says. Elkins out of pit lane. He stays on the lead lap, and he's got fresh tires to get to the end of the race. Watchorn coming to 9 laps to go here. He's opened up an 11.5 second gap. Davin once again cannot get away from Gamillion or Zier here. Struggling still in that battle for 4th place. It's been a struggle. Gamillion, however, does not have a chance to make it to the end of the race here. So this would really be a battle for 4th place between Zier and Daffin. Gamillion just sort of the brace between the two at the moment as it stands. Oh no, did Daffin just do it again? Daffin just spun again! Outside the top 4, once again, Zier to 5th place, Daffin to 6th. For the second time, turn 12 is struck for Alec Daffin. Unfathomable how this race has turned out. So Daffin now in 6th place, and he's got a 4-second gap if he wants to try to battle for that 4th spot with Zier when Gamillion comes down pit lane. He's got to shave off 4.5 seconds. 7 laps to go here at Mid-Ohio. It's been a frantic race, top to bottom, with how this race has played out. We're thankful you spent your Friday evening with us here on ABN. For those new, I'm Carmen. Thank you all for spending the start of your weekend with us. For those watching live, there'll be a little bit of a raid. We're raiding a fellow streamer, a member of the ABN community at the end of this one. For those watching on demand on our YouTube channel, if you want to take part in these live stream raids, tune in live. Links in the description down below. Battle on your screen is about a 4th place that is about to be cut short between Maurice Gamillion and Lilac Zier. If Gamillion cannot make it on fuel, has to come in within the next couple laps. Gamillion last pit on lap 19. The furthest anyone made it on fuel was 25 laps, so he cannot make it to the end as things currently sit. 6 laps to go now for them. At the front of the field, high, dry, and lonesome, it is Merrick Watchorn looking for his 26th career win in the TWIGI iRacing series. And he is a little over 5.5 laps from making that happen. Five laps to go for Merrick Watchorn. .14.5 seconds the gap. Zier went off track in this battle with Gamillion. Got back on track pretty well, clean and tidy, but cannot make those mistakes with less than 6 laps to go, 5 to go now for them as they cross our finish line. 10-second gap between Zier and Daffin, but you don't want to give that time up. It's an easy top 5, easy top 4 in grass for Zier, knowing Gamillion cannot make it to the end. $15 cars took the start of this race. We have 13 cars still running right now. So you're still battling with Gamillion here. 4 laps to go. That's what they're approaching here. Just calm down. This is the biggest battle on track at the moment. The battle for 4th place. Again, with 4 laps to go. Right now, Zier in a very easy spot. At the front of the field, Merrick Watchorn just lost a little bit of time. He's just sort of tiptoeing these last 4 laps. Watchorn with 3 laps to go. Has been an unstoppable force all race long. Challenged for the race lead early, stayed in that battle. The first 17 laps were an absolute thriller. And road course racing. Gilmillion trying to stay out. He's going to try to stretch the fuel mileage here. So you're not being too aggressive on trying to make a pass happen for that 4th spot, just in case. Right now, as things currently run and sit, Zier stays in the top 5. Daffin has now dropped 19 seconds. He is now closer to Elkins in 7th than he is to Zier in 5th. Elkins in 7th place, Roberg in 8th. Daffin's had trouble. Daffin's had significant trouble. That's in the keyhole. Where's Elkins? There's Elkins. And there goes Elkins, 6th place. Now out of gas. Elkins to 6th place, Daffin down to 7th. Flowers in front of Elkins here. Elkins trying to hold on to now 6th place. That's fallen into his lap. Zier's gone around Gilmillion. Things popping off here with 2 laps to go. Zier made the pass for 4th stick. And Daffin in trouble again. Daffin in trouble. That's turn 9. He is hemorrhaging time right now. Watchorn on the penultimate lap going through the hill. Roberg just a little bit ahead of him in that 37, who suddenly may not be out of the hunt for the top 7. That 8th place may turn into something a little bit more with how things have gone. Roberg still struggling though. Elkins. What has happened to Alec Daffin? Oh, Daffin's gone off. Turn 1. Those tires are shot. There is nothing left on him here. Final lap is in the air. Watchorn's taking the white flag. This will do it. Sasek holds on. 2nd place here at the white flag. 1 lap to go, but it's a 3.5 second margin. Not a lot to be comfy. That is for sure. Zier stays ahead of Gilmillion here for 4th place. Things popped off and fell apart here at the worst possible times. Lilac looking for a 4th place finish. Just has to stay ahead of Maurice Gilmillion, who will make it to the end of the race on just that 1 stop. Despite what the numbers said going into this, Gilmillion knew the numbers he needed to hit and hit them brilliantly. But for Merrick Watchorn, it's 4 in a row as it comes out of the last 2 corners here at the lap. Through 12 and 13, Martin Roberg stays on the lead lap. But Merrick Watchorn wins at Mid-Ohio. 26 career wins for Merrick Watchorn. A dominant performance. Eli Sasek finishes 2nd, ties his best finish that came from Texas 2 weeks ago. And Brennan Gregg on the podium once more, and then number 18. Lilacs here stays fourth, but it's a close battle between her and Mauricio Million at the end of the top 5. And Jacob Elkins gets to tiptoe his way through. No pressure. The defending champion. Not a top 5 that he was looking for tonight. Not the top 5 that seemed possible for the 9 car tonight. But a 6th place finish for the defending series champion. He's going to step it out sideways. That Supra's going to drift across the line. But for Merrick Watchorn, it is a race win once again. An impressive drive in his first win on a road course in the TWIGI iRacing series. Watchorn's one that always says that you can always learn something for each race, and he showed that tonight. Incredible, impeccable, and undeniable tonight, Merrick Watchorn was. Had to slug it out big time the first half of this race. And then when it all fell into place, Watchorn just let it fly. He's going to burn it down here in Mid-Ohio. Post-race interviews coming up shortly. What a drive by Merrick Watchorn. Interviews coming up here very shortly. Waiting through a commercial break right now for those that are subscribed and don't have to worry about the ads at all. Or we're letting all of the non-subbed viewers get through the ad break here before we start doing interviews here, so we can hear from our race winner and our podium finishers here tonight. Merrick Watchorn will be the first one on the docket here as our race winner. Alrighty, it's time to hear from our podium finishers here. We'll start with the race winner, Merrick Watchorn. Merrick, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Good copy.
What a drive. What a battle at the start of this race, and it all fell into your lap. Clinical and precise. Your first road course win in your 26 wins in the career in the TWIGI iRacing series. Kind of just walk through your race. That was an impressive battle at the start of this race. The entire first half looked exhausting.
Oh, it was definitely exhausting. I couldn't get around Alec for the longest time. And then I just kept cooking my tires. So I sat behind Eli and then sat behind Alec and just let them drive around the track, battling each other out, and tried to focus on how to make myself better. I saw that I was a lot faster on the second part of the track once we got past the hill. Coming down, the first part, those two were just blazing faster than me, but man, wow. I'm sweating. That was definitely a well-earned, deserved win battle with those guys. I gotta give it a shout out to both Eli and Alec. I'm sorry for Alec having troubles late in the race, but when he spun out like early in the race, and then it just kind of disappeared from there for everyone. But man, that was the most exciting battle, I would say, for my career in this series so far in the league.
You can hear it just how out of breath you are and how much you had to focus on this. Obviously, not an easy road course race. Also, not one of the more well-known tracks. It's not a Sonoma. It's not a Watkins Glen. But you showed immediately you had the pace to take it to those race winners. Again, your first road course win in the series, and you are the winningest driver already here. This is your 26th career win. How important was getting a win on a road course this season, as far as just showing the amount of growth and learning that you've done in this car across the last couple of years? How important was this race and getting this win tonight, as far as solidifying that you are all around the best driver right now in the series?
It came down to my buddy. Well, my buddy, he's from the UK, and he loves saying, I do proper racing, while you guys just do left turn racing. So, yeah, he's one of my good friends, and I wanted to prove it to him, and prove it to everyone else that, I can win on a road course, I can win on dirt, I can win on just about anything you throw me in, and I'll show you a good time, and I'll show you that I'll battle you hard. But man, I'm definitely out of breath. I'm a little sweaty after that race. I mean, we were out there dominating. I was very much surprised by how good the racing was. Mid Ohio is one of those tracks that the Xfinity Series actually does in real life, and so I was wondering why they stopped coming here, because it just produces great, side by side battling. A lot of, you got to set up the guy ahead of you. Force a mistake to be able to get past him sometimes, or you just like send it. I mean, there's a couple times I could get around Alec, but Alec just battled back because he had the drive off and didn't have to worry about his tire spinning, where I was close towards the inside, towards the curb, caused my rears to slide out. So I mean, it was something. I got to give it to. I didn't think I was going to win this race. I really wanted to close out the month of June and sweep it and get my 11th win and tie my most winningest thing, because it's been a tough year so far. So hopefully we can just keep on going. Maybe I can break my record and increase it a little bit further, but right now I'm just I'm gonna get some water. This is a hard fought battle.
Absolutely, and an incredible fight here tonight. Again, one of the more demanding road courses on the calendar, with Milwaukee next week, the Milwaukee Mile next Friday. Going to be a lot of fun watching everyone take on more Midwest tracks here as we go up to Wisconsin in 7 days' time. Before I let you go, and obviously let you kind of recover and relax, obviously a lot of stress here tonight. As someone who's raced this track in open cars, I know what that's like. But before I let you go, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, Merrick, the floor is yours. Congrats on a phenomenal drive tonight. Race winner here at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to give a shout out to TWIGI QSA and Capture the Occasion, and of course y'all for always broadcasting and showing us the love that we deserve out here. Want to thank everyone coming out every weekend and working on their craft and being the the better driver for everyone, and just really showing their strength. And man, I just that was a fantastic battle, a fantastic win. I would say this is the one I really wanted to earn, and I did. Fantastic finish.
Absolutely. Did not put a foot wrong here this afternoon. Race winner at Mid-Ohio. Merrick, congratulations on it. You're tying your season best 11 races after just 19 races. So many more races to go. 17 to go, to be precise, left in this season. Milwaukee next week. Merrick, enjoy the race win. Recover up well. We'll be seeing you next Friday.
Thanks, Carmen.
That was Merrick Watchorn, race winner. Here tonight, we're going to talk to one more driver. We'll talk to Eli Sasek, the 71 car here this evening. Finished second place. Thought he had something there a little bit for him, but it fell away from him, and he had to settle for second place here tonight, tying his best result from Texas 2 weeks ago. Eli, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
All righty. Obviously, second place, given the pace you had early on in this race, probably not what you were hoping for. You were hoping for that one extra position. But how was your race tonight? That first half looked like an all-out brawl. Kind of walk through your perspective on that first half.
Exhausting, but fun. It was very enjoyable. I'm pretty happy with a second place. I mean, Merrick was faster on that second run by a long shot. And I mean, it was fun. the tires fell off a decent amount. It started to get super slippery. And I mean, it was exhausting too. I'm pretty worn out after that, but it was a great race. It was super fun.
Obviously, I mean, you're running part-time in this series, so you're kind of jumping in and out. But you've got, in the last 3 races that the TWIGI iRacing series has done, you finished second in 2 of them. Finished second at Texas, and then you come back and you do the same thing here at Mid-Ohio. Obviously, no idea what your schedule looks like, but do you think that you're going to be able to kind of come back and do more of these? Because Milwaukee's next week, obviously, and obviously you've got a busy schedule as it is, but do you feel like you've got the ability to come in and really take it to these championship front runners and kind of push them in a different way than they've seen this so far this season?
I think so. I think there's a lot of tracks that I enjoy racing and excel at that are still left on the schedule. I don't know if I'm going to do Milwaukee next week. I have yet to decide on that. And I don't know what races are past that, to be honest. I'd have to look again.
It's Milwaukee, Michigan, Nashville, and Dover the next 4.
I'll probably be there for Michigan. That's the home race. But past that, I feel like I can take it. I could probably win one of these things one day. Just need a little bit of luck in that department, but I feel pretty confident right now. I mean, it's great running with these guys, and I think I've proven that I can be competitive. So yeah, I think pushing them and making them kind of think about me, I guess, is the goal in that regard. Yeah.
Well, you definitely kind of pushed them a little bit here, especially at the start of the race. A phenomenal a clinic of road course racing those first 17, 18 laps tonight. A phenomenal drive here. Second place finish here at Mid-Ohio, with obviously your busy schedule coming up here. Before I let you go and kind of let you just re-energize and kind of recover here tonight, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, Eli, the floor is yours. Congratulations on another podium in the TWIGI iRacing series. What a phenomenal drive tonight.
Yeah, well, I'll say thank you to my grandparents. They watch every race, big fans. Probably everybody here that puts on the show, and then my stream chat for keeping me company during the parts where I was a bit alone in that race by myself. So yeah, very good race, and thank you.
Eli, enjoy the podium, and hopefully we can see you here again very soon.
Yep, thank you.
That was Eli Sasek, race podium finish number 2 for him. Second place finish, once again, ties what he did at Texas 2 weeks ago. Results on your screen now is as they run here after 47 laps here at Mid-Ohio. Merrick Watchorn, 26th career win ahead of Eli Sasek, with Brendan Gregg in 3rd place. Lilac Sear 4th ahead of Maurice Gamillion. Jacob Elkins in 6th. Alec Daffin slid away down to 7th place for him after starting on pole position. Martin Roberg finished on the lead lap in the 8th position. Bobby Blowers 1 lap down in 9th. David Wright running out the top 10 for him in the number 1 machine. For David Wright, very important practice, getting some warm-up on road courses before Sunday for the ARC's A-Square Cup Series. RJ Buchanan finished 11th place, another good run for the Canadian driver. Greg Pillar finished 5 laps down, persevered, and made it to the finish, as did Jack Stanley, who was 13 laps down, but saw the checkered flag. Only 2 retirements in this race: Casey Ellis, who wrecked out after only 5 laps, and Patrick Hernandez, who wrecked out after 2. A lot of stuff still going on here for the ABN Esports channel. Nothing tomorrow. Sunday, it's the ARC's A-Square Cup Series at Chicago. Monday, it's the ABN Prototype Sprint Cup from Hockenheim. Tuesday, it's the International Sports Cars Championship preseason test at Watkins Glen. We're off Wednesday. We're off Thursday. We'll be back on Friday for the TWIGI iRacing Series, the Beer Fest 150 at Milwaukee. That's the next week in advance. Stay tuned. Stay up to date on everything through our social media. On behalf of everyone here at ABN Studios, and everyone here for the TWIGI iRacing Series, I'm Carmen. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, try to have some fun this weekend. But we'll see you next week. We'll see you Sunday at Chicago. So long, everybody.